Thank you, Chairperson. I pronounce to Swamiji. I pronounce to elders and scholars and stalwarts on the table and on the stage and off the stage. இவங்க பேசுனதுல மறந்துட்டேன் நான் எமோஷன் ஆகி ஓகே தேங்க்யூ மேடம். I come from Defense Department, Defense Strategic Studies Department. So I look Swamiji as a revolutionary leader because we teach in our department, Defense Military Studies, that peace is an ideal concept, idealism, whereas war is a realism. And peace is both realism and as well as idealism, because when we approach peace from the angle of aspects like education, it assumes idealism. When we approach peace through military means, it becomes realism. So Swamiji is swimming across against the prevailing current situation of the world, where the realism has become the talk of the town and main quality of the foreign policy of major countries. So I congratulate and appreciate Swamiji for revolutionary thinking and having the theme which is against the normal trend of the international relations. And I also feel proud that I am also part of this group, revolutionary group. Thank you, Swamiji. And I wonder why Swamiji has chosen this kind of theme. And I later on, I understood that this is the land of Bharat, we call Bharat Mata and Bharat Varsh. So we have naturally that in DNA, that Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnana Brahmam, this kind of Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam, Anbe Sivam, Yadumure, Yavarinkel, this kind of revolutionary concepts which has been formulated much centuries ago. So this is naturally in our part of genes. So that that is the thing I will highlight. In Western philosophy, where our chairperson, when he was speaking, he divided into Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy. In military terms, Western philosophy emphasizes on violence, and they don't give any importance to compassion, mercy, love, affection. Whereas our philosophy, we give an equal importance to violence as well as love. That is a kind of a dichotomy. Where, for example, in Kautilya's philosophy, he says Samadana Beda Danda. Danda is last, the last resort. Whereas Western philosophy, they give first importance to force. So that is a kind of all it's a dimensions. So I'd like to begin my presentation with the quotation of Indian monk, Indian saint Vivekananda. I won't I refrain from calling Swami before Vivekananda, because I read one of in literature, he himself has said, don't call me Swami before my name, something. So I got off. He says that if somebody calls Swami, then I will come in the night and I will haunt those person called. So I got afraid. Okay. Okay. Speaking at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893, the Indian monk Vivekananda had articulated the eternal truth. May he who is the Brahman of the Hindus, the Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, the Buddha of the Buddhists, the Jehovah of the Jews, the Father in heaven of the Christians, give strength to you to carry out your noble idea. The star rose in the east. It traveled steadily towards the west, sometimes dimmed and sometimes effulgent, till it made a circuit of the world. And now it is again rising on the very horizon of the east, the borders of the Brahmaputra river, 1,000-fold more effulgent than it ever was before. When India interacts with the others in the international arena, it does so from the strategic position of peaceful coexistence and non-violence, which remains integral and have been the essence of teachings of Lord Buddha and Mahatma Gandhi and various other philosophers and saints. Even though India claims to be the founder of algebra and trigonometry, or Kautilya's diplomacy, and the concept of zero by itself, India doesn't believe in the concept of zero-sum game in international relations, but wishes to work with everyone believing in the global good and global commons. An example is a vaccine diplomacy, where we have come out very selflessly in foreign policy and driven by the guiding principle of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, that is, the world is one family. Besides, India has been the founder or originator of 4 major religions. As you all know, that Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. So these are the strength of our motherland. And we also we are given refugees, the persecuted Parsis and Jews who have taken refuge in India. So this is the strength of our values, which the Westerners don't believe. They call India lacks strategic culture, where our culture is, we say, agriculture or love and peace. They say India lacks strategic culture. India doesn't have a military sense of culture, which is their point of view, which I won't agree. Coming to the terms, the vocabulary peace and conflict resolution, peace is a very abstract term. Peace means what we teach in defense and strategic studies, absence of war. That is what we assume peace. But when I came here and listening to 2 days deliberation, peace is not a mere absence of war. It also, peace means the presence of justice, presence of previous, I was enlightened, presence of equality, presence of harmony. So peace is, if you want to assume a holistic concept, that is, yesterday Professor Butt also said, holistic concept. Peace is both, not only absence of war, it's also a presence of justice. So people call it a different way, negative peace, positive peace. Previous speakers also highlighted it. And I'm more confused with the term peace, because like this, so many kinds, so many varieties of peace. Like, for example, we have, I have collected somewhere this information. Varieties of peace like confrontational peace, reconciled peace, fragile peace, constrained peace, cold peace, suspicious peace, democratic peace, hegemonic peace, minimalist peace, maximalist peace, peace of the graveyard peace, and so on and so forth. We are so, that is what Hitler, like Hitler, everybody wanted peace in Pakistan, everybody, but they want different kinds of peace. So what is peace? I really, I'm in dilemma. So somehow I am enlightened, and whatever its meaning, whatever be its meaning of the term peace, which people call Shanti, some different, but one thing I have come to conclusion, that peace is not easy to achieve. Peace is not, the goal of peace is not within our reach. We have to put an extraordinary effort to achieve the peace because of so many challenges in the path to peace, in the path to conflict resolution. Challenges like we have to encounter fear, force. We have element called military industrial complex. They don't want the peace to be prevailing in the world. They want to sell their weapons, equipments deliberately, so they don't want peace to be established in any parts of the world, let it Taliban or Ukraine. So this kind of marketing is there. And language, mistrust, distrust, suspicion, prejudice. So these are the factors, I think, challenges to the establishment of peace and conflict resolution. So, so to overcome these challenges, I have found that this theme is very relevant, that right education is the key to peace and conflict resolution. Opposite, the wrong education leads to war. That is what happening in Pakistan. They have wrong education imparted to the students, and whereby they brainwash the students the wrong way. For example, they teach the students that it is from Pakistan, India was born out. It is from Pakistan, India was carved out. So this kind of wrong teachings and they're poisoning the minds of students. So proceeding further, the role of non-violence for resolving the conflict. Nowadays, peace has become everybody's business. Once upon a time, peace is only confined to generals, topmost politicians. But in 21st century, on the present arena, peace has become everybody's business. Just like previous speakers told, has informed us that counseling has become everybody's business. Previously, only by psychologists. So, not only Gandhians, but perhaps to 90 to 95% of human beings want to live in a peaceful world. They don't want wars because they are tired of wars, but still wars happening. I remember Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan's words that we know what is right, we know what is good, but we don't practice. We know what is wrong, what is bad, but still we practice. That is the tragedy of human being. That is a quotation from Dr. Radhakrishnan, sir. But some bad elements and some vested interest want to perpetuate violence. Peace lovers have a tough job ahead. We have to take some steps to counter the violence. Previously, used to be a proverb which says, if you want peace, prepare for war. Now the concept has changed. If you want peace, understand war. No need to prepare for war, because we are living in the era of nuclear weapons, atomic, chemical, biological weapon, where the consequence is very disastrous. There is no victor, no vanquisher. Only it exterminates everyone. That is why we have concept called MAD, M-A-D, mutually assured destruction. So it doesn't know who is the victor, who is the vanquisher. So it exterminates everybody, suicidal war. So in that concept, this team assumes very relevant. Education, right education towards to solve the problem is a very relevant. So first one is peace and non-violence in schools, colleges, universities curriculum. We should inculcate the values of peace and non-violence in the children from the school level, or students at the college or university level, by making these subjects a part of their curriculums. Subjects like peace studies, peace programs, peace clubs. They are coming peace clubs. So once upon a time, there is no scope for peace studies in defense and strategic studies. Nowadays, peace studies has made inroads into our syllabus, which shows that peace assumes more relevance in this era. So there needs to be some restrictions on media and social media platforms where students are exposed to utmost violence. This we know currently what is happening. And we have to teach students or children that war never pays. War is very expensive, war is very dangerous. And this kind of things we have to teach students, whereas Westerners are they are glorifying violence, and students are attracted to that kind of literature. We have to counter that. So we have good, very responsibility on our shoulders. A second thing I want to, in the right to education is, I consider teaching of yoga, meditation, and scriptures to the students, to the children, which of course we are doing. We consider this as a soft power, whereas military hard power. So this is soft power. India is blessed with soft power. We have tremendous soft power. And children in many countries, including India, are ignorant of their own culture. So we have to highlight our culture to the students. When I say this to the children, they get angry. We know our culture, you don't need to educate. But that is the reality, hard reality. So ethics is not given importance it deserves. So we have to highlight and reinforce the importance of ethics. Education is, so according to Plato, education is teaching our children to desire the right things. Our children is presently desiring wrong things. So it is the education is role of the education has become more prominent, important, and that is where teaching of scriptures assumes importance with a stress on values like love, compassion, sacrifice, respect for elders, etc. So yoga and meditation would make our children physically and mentally fit persons to face the modern challenges. And India is considered, after all, a spiritual mother of the world. We call it Jagat Guru or Vishwa Guru. So I even call India as a strategic guru, because Kautilya, many centuries ago, even before what we call Westerners, he formulated Raja Mandala theory and Saptanga theory. These have never thought of Westerners till 200 years ago. So so I also consider India as a strategic guru. And third kind of reformation is harmony between religions. Harmony between religions is a necessary step in the present day world. That's what Swamiji is doing, interfaith religious dialogue. According to Hans Kung, there can be no peace among the nations without peace among the religions. No peace among the religions without dialogue between the religions. And no dialogue between the religion is possible without the investigations of the foundations of the religion, which is everything, every religions, they preach same thing only, love, compassion, etc. But only thing, we have to have ambassador of peace or coordinator among all these religions. And even some people say Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of life, dharma, what marga, something. Okay, and the last part of my lecture, if you adopt all these measures, we will find an alternative to war. There is a general assumption that why people are war, why nations resort to war, because there is no alternative to war. That is why people go to they prefer war. But here, when we follow all this, then we can find out the alternatives to war. That is, these are some, I have come out some points which I propose as an alternative to war. That education, again, it starts with education, right? Education as the horrors of war. We have to highlight the destructiveness of the war to the present generation, and education to the fact that war does not pay. War is the total waste of energy or resources, but there is an exception. Kurukshetra war, the madam said, it established justice. So there are some exceptions where the war is necessary, but it only necessary at the last resort, not as the first attempt. So then there is non-recognition of fruits of aggression. We should not glorify violence or aggressors. And disarmament, we should abolish weapons. Again, it has become utopian concept. Abolishing weapons totally, or armed forces, not possible, but still we have to take efforts. And strong international law. Presently, international is very weak. We don't have any separate international force. We have to keep peacekeeping force. We have to amalgamate. We have to integrate forces from various countries, which is also perpetuating violence. That is one weakness of international law. And world government, one world, one government. That is one kind of solution to the present problem or present turmoil. Hobbies, we say, obviously nature of international relations, full of Thomas Hobbes used to say men are nasty, brutish, selfish, animal-like, warlike. So still, he said 500 years ago, still men are nasty, brutish, selfish. So we need strong, reliable sanctions or world government. One world, one government. That is very idealistic one, utopian one, but That is a kind of proposal. And economic internationalism is a need of the time instead of economic nationalism. So I know these are very idealistic, but okay. So at last, there are 4 conditions for world peace. A degree of community. First one is a degree of community feeling and harmony of interest is essential for the world peace. Secondly, a common government. Instead of we are having nearly 200 governments, 200 countries running 200 governments and making mess the entire world. So we must have a common government, one government. And third one is preponderant power enjoyed by peaceful states. Peaceful states are sidelined or marginalized internationalization. Those states who are giving importance to peaceful means should be highlighted, should assume a leadership role. And lastly, fear of mutual destruction. As I said, MAD, that will destroy the world, entire world into several times. So this we should keep in mind. So in conclusion, only by following the right education, we can change the world, the current trend of the world from realism to idealism, like fearlessness, faith, love for the opponent, empathy, morality, openness, introspection, readiness to compromise, voluntary initiation to dialogue is very necessary to see the peaceful world, a nuclear weapon free world. Thank you, Swamiji, for giving this opportunity.